how much of a difference do you believe being 100% adherent makes to your physique development over a 6-month period compared to 80 to 90%?
Oof.
So we've talked in the past even like, it's like be good across multiple things rather than be great at less. What do you think?
What do you think they mean by 100% adherence? Is that like sticking to a specific meal plan for 7 days?
I would say, adherent would be, like 100% adherence is like 5 workouts, 12,000 steps to say if that's the target, 100 minutes of cardio, hitting your macros every day, sleeping 6 to 8 hours.
Hitting your macros every day? So it doesn't have to be a rigid meal plan?
Yeah, sure.
I think over 6 months.
Well, it's just like, maybe let's go whatever the social contract is.
Yeah.
For the coaching.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm allowed to have my one meal a week.
Well, yeah, whatever the contract is for the time.
All right. It's hard to define because I actually think it's compounding.
Yep. I agree.
Because every week's going to...
Yeah, the more good weeks you have, the better the results will be over time, right?
And you can also fine-tune things so much better.
Yeah.
Like you can adjust things 150 calories and it makes a difference because you're adherent.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're not adherent on the weekend, it's like, what's 150 calories? We don't know.
Yeah.
So, a lot.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know if I can put a percentage on it, but a lot.
Yeah, well, you're never going to be able to, right? But yeah, I think depending on the person, and I know the person who asked this question, and the goals and the look at the end reflect the degree of compliance. So say you have like Jane who joins you strong, and she hasn't been to the gym for 15 years, and she's got 15 to 20 kilos to lose. So Jane's going to get put on the hand plan, and it's like four serves of protein a day. 2 serves of whole grains, have some fruit.
4 serves of veg.
It's probably going to put Jane at like 1,600 calories.
Yeah.
She probably burns about 2,200. On the weekend, though, she's going to have a glass of Chardonnay, that. She's going to get away with a little bit more. And the goal at the end is not so refined. Where you've got... So like Jackson or Adrian, it's like the goal is thick skin peeled. It's like there's no leeway or very little leeway for that. So I think for the person asking the question, 100% compliance is going to... 100% comparative to 80 is going to be huge. 100% comparative to 90 is still going to be significant.
I think if it's a deadline-based goal as well, like you then can measure that adherence over a specific period of time. So say it's like a 12-week cut. 100% adherence over 12 weeks versus 90% adherence over 12 weeks is going to be noticeably different at the end, 100%.
Yeah.
That's a lot of percentages. But for a lifestyle client doing things long-term, running at 90 may mean you can do it for 2 years.
For longer, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be measuring it over 12 months versus that 12 weeks, what happens? You have to have the mentality to be able to turn the dial up, turn it down. Especially thinking like doing my pre-podcast walk this morning in the balmy fucking 4 degrees or whatever it is. And just thinking like, because you sort of mentioned last week with the cycle diet, like, do you think if you just did the calories, you get the same result? I'm like, maybe. Like, I don't think what the protocol is special.
It's just...
But it's novel, and it makes me hyper aware of my nutrition that I haven't been for a really long time. And this is the most adherent I've been with nutrition in as long as I can remember. So it's like with that
you can get around it.
Another level of adherence if I just went, I'm going to do 2,600 calories for 14 weeks versus doing this. The outcomes becomes better because of the novelty of the adherent part.
Yeah. And then closing this off so we can move on to another question. If you are asking yourself those questions, then you have to live with the potential situation at the end that you aren't as good as you could have been and you didn't give it everything you had.
If it's for a sport, it's hard, man.
Well, imagine getting up on... Imagine even... I've done photo shoots and I'm like, could have given this a bit more.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in that situation. Like, you just have to live with that.
Yeah.
So if you do... the look was good, it could have been better.
Yeah.
It's like, know that 20%, 10% is the reason.
Yeah.
And you have to live with it.
Yeah, my last powerlifting meet was like, I wasn't diligent enough with my movement prep.
Yeah.
And my mobility work outside of training.
Yeah.
And all of that, just general, like, health of the system. And I was like, that cost me 20 kilos on my squat.
Yeah.
And that would hurt.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Looking back on that prep, I was like, I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
And that sucked. So I think even from a strength pursuit in terms of adherence, like if you know that you skipped your accessories, you know you skipped that warm-up prep, and you know you haven't got the sleep and you've been drinking or whatever, it's like, you know, when you get to the day and you're like, I could have done more.
Yeah, everything's an accumulation of everything you've done. Well, the day is an accumulation of everything you've done.
Yeah.
80 versus 100 is pretty significant in my opinion.
Yeah. Unless 100 means you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different in like a sporting outcome, I think.
Well, it's still.
And yes, I call bodybuilding and powerlifting a sport.
It depends on the, but again, it depends on the social, like it depends on the contract, right?
Yeah.
So if you sit there and you go, my coach has said this is what's expected to get this outcome, and then I've gone yes.
Yeah, and
then not done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you haven't.
Yeah.
You haven't actually met the what's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in some cases, because there's going to be people like, oh, he's so strict, but they've put that choice or that responsibility on their coach to go, well, this is what's expected, because they don't know.
Yeah.
Like I had a discussion with one of my guys last year before we started prepping, and I was like, this is going to be stage weight. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what? He's like, that means that over the last couple of years, I haven't put on any muscle, because the last time I was the lightest was when I was 75.
Yeah.
And he's like, so if I'm at stage of 75, like that means I haven't made any progress. I'm like, no.
Means you'll be peeled.
I'm like, there's just a level. I'm like, you just don't understand how you hold weight.
Yeah.
Like we just hold weight in crazy ways, and you don't understand how lean you have to be. And then now we're like 2-ish kilos from that.
Yeah.
A completely different look.
Yeah.
So in their mind, they don't know what the actual end product is, and that's part of the reason why you hire a coach.
Yeah.
And if you set the contract, that's because of that. And if you don't meet it, so you're not meeting the expectations of what's required to do what you, I guess, quote unquote, asked for.
Yeah.
So yeah. Stick to your fucking diet 100%. I know who you are.
Yeah, or set up I like the social contract idea. Set up your social contract to the point that you can. Yeah. And work with your coach to set realistic expectations of that outcome.
Yeah, because if it's a lifestyle client, I love that. Like, whatever you have available to you, give it everything you've got.
Agreed.
So if you got 80% for the day, I said this in a check-in to a client of mine. She's like, it's a mum. She's got a high functioning job. It's like, high pressure situations, life gets in the way, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you show up and give 100% of the 80% you have that day. Yeah. That's all you can ask for. Yeah. And that's the definition of consistency for most people. It's just when it gets so hyper specific, the outcome, powerlifting prep, bodybuilding show, whatever. Yeah. That's when it's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. What life threw at you.
It's got to get done.
Yeah. Like someone goes like, oh, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm hungry. I'm like, yeah, I understand. Mm-hmm. Still got to hit your steps. Yeah. So I'll stick to your diet and do the, because I'm like, the goal is the goal. So yeah, it, like you said, it does depend on that contract of like what's expected.
Yeah.